It makes you uncomfortable.
Actually,
one
yes,
time that we
I would
ride
hate
together.
driving with this guy because how uncomfortable I am with the quiet and the silence. But at the same time, I'd love to ride with you, Barrick.
Okay.
Yeah, but right now we're riding with Dark. He really wants us to like.
I'm actually gonna have a meeting after this.
Oh, it's
Yes,
okay,
Yeah,
I
Jack.
he
actually
wants
need
us
to
to
have a
hold his
conversation
penciled.
with you too.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Yes.
No, so Brandy and Nikki, you're gonna ride with Beric for now. Make sure the relationship is stronger. Because we don't want flinging at each other with rude comments and stuff like that. If it turns into a second time, we'll look into more a bit more how do I say it? More extensive punishment for Beric.
Or maybe don't put them together if they can't,
No, they're gonna
get
talk it
along,
out. They're gonna,
and then she can ride
I
in a
like
car
this
by
option.
herself.
You should just send me out there by myself.
I'm riding with Barrick.
No, you're going together now.
You can't force him into a situation where something might happen and then punish him even more severely if something happens. That's not.
Let it
Me out there to
happen.
ride with them without my consent.
We're gonna
And I don't
have a
like this.
scandal soon.
All I'm
You don't
saying
want
is,
tea?
all the
This is
problem is
future.
coming from
Right here.
the
Because I trust Beric, and
BCSO,
he's
not the
gonna make
LSPD.
the best of its effort to make the situation better, right?
Oh, so
Beric?
she trusts Barrick and she doesn't trust us. All right.
No, I
okay.
trust you guys because you guys are the ones being assaulted.
Assaulted?
Not
Oh
assaulted.
my god!
What?
Attacked. I mean.
Well, that's not what this is about.
Oh my god!
Randy, you're going to do it because you also called him fat. That's why. And you lied to me. And Nikki's being an asshole. So you three are riding together. That's HR.
Asshole is part of my life. What do you mean? Tell me something new.
That's true. That's fair.
Uh-oh.
Are we clear here, Barry? Are we clear?
Yeah.
Is someone going to him?
I don't see anybody going
Maybe
to
you
him.
guys should go
Come
to him.
on, go.
You gotta go Alpha 13, Bravo.
Go.
Let's go, Barrick.
Lucy, why are you still awake?
Bye, guys. You guys are amazing.
Bye, Nikki.
Right, Chief, you can take the chair. Left it warm for you.
Thank you, Samantha.
I'll leave you guys
Barrick
to it.
1000% called us fat, by the way. He did that.
Yeah, no, he's doing his punishment for now. For HR.
It's a bit ironic, actually, but you don't have anything to eat, do you?
Actually, I do not, but I can get you.
No. I'm thank you. I'm Corey. Miss May, how can I help? I'm good.
Well, this is more of a personal thing. We had spoken on it briefly as you were about to go to bed the other day. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. So, I guess what I need from you is.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, hell. Do you need to leave?
It depends. We don't have that many police on duty.
Okay, I'll make it very quick.
Okay.
I've tried very hard to invite the people that are closest to you and Matt.
Okay.
Because I do want to keep it relatively small because you know how large gatherings attract the wrong kind of people.
Yeah.
And so, like, anybody that I've invited, I have asked them to keep it low key and not talk about it because I don't want somebody to overhear and feel like they're invited as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've also made it expressly clear to them that certain people are to not attend. And I have hired private security to be there to make sure that if said people show up, that they will be escorted off.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know when you're going out of pocket for the share, so this sounds like a lot.
No. It's perfectly fine. The cost of it is nothing compared to, what it means to me. So, I just, want it to go off without a hitch. For the most part, we have pretty much everything nailed down. So, and I haven't told Matt exactly what it is, but I did tell him to make sure that he is around on Tuesday at 10 a.m. And I told him it is imperative that he be there. So, I guess I just need like so I have invited Snow,
Mhm.
Copper, Libby Davenport, Daisy Espinoz, Jenny Hall, Kyle Pred. Oh God, I'm trying to think. Shirley Lemons, Kiki Pendragon, Tessa. Oh my gosh, I should have been writing these down, but it's pretty much as Pixie.
Mhm.
Are and now I know, like I feel like I'm more familiar with Matt's friends and people that he's known a long time because he comes up to Harmony a lot and we talk a lot.
Yeah.
But you and I, like, we don't really get those one-on-ones too often. So is there anybody that you can think of that you would like there?
Lauren. I know she might be hard to reach at the minute though. I haven't seen her in a while.
I
But
think Jenny was gonna reach out to her.
okay. Yeah, Lauren be
So,
great.
but I'll double check with her. Yeah.
Okay. Who else? Jesus Christ. I don't really know. Anybody I'd really want to be there. Have you invited Flop yet?
Well, he was gonna be, yeah, but he's off trying to find Ziggy right now. So
You're kidding
and
me.
he won't be back. Yeah, he told me last minute after I already had the date and time set. And I told him, and he's like,
Oh
I'm not
my
going to be
God.
back. And he's like, I'm probably not going to be back for the rest of the month. And I wanted to
What?
make sure to do it during Pride. That's what he told me. Yeah. And I was like, so what? You were just going to leave without telling people?
Well, he didn't tell
So,
me.
yeah, I know. He wouldn't have told me either until I invited him to the vow renewal. And I was like, wait a minute, what? But what I'm gonna do is I'm setting up a laptop to live stream it so that way he can watch.
He
and
won't
it's fine.
even be there. Fantastic.
I know. I'm so sorry. But he said he wouldn't be back for the rest of the month, and I wanted to do it during Pride. So
Okay. Who else? Yeah, I'm trying to think who was at our first wedding. It was me, Matt, Lauren. I can't remember. Tessa was there. That's good that she's coming.
yeah.
I don't know. People in PD, Jenny, Fred. What about Libby? Have you invited Libby, the chief?
I haven't invited her yet because I haven't seen her.
Okay.
But I gave Barrick a list of people that I haven't been able to see, and asked him to reach out to them for me. So he's going to do that.
Okay. Libby Tribble. But he's another one that's not around very much.
Yeah, I was about to say I've never met him before.
Really?
Yeah,
He was the
I've
sheriff
never met him.
for 3 or 4 years, so
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard his name, but I just haven't ever had the pleasure, unfortunately.
I think anybody. If I have to think, if I think of anybody else, I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay. Are you a
Thank you
loner when you're at work, Richard?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think I'm realizing now I got no friends.
It's not that you don't have friends; it's that you are just busy, and I don't know. You got problems
Yeah.
with getting close to people.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, that's okay. We have lots of people. Any, like, I guess, civilians that you can think of that you're friendly with or get along with well?
Well, not really. I mean, maybe Martha. She's nice.
Martha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I don't
I
really
do know
know.
Martha. I'll have to run by Roosters and see if I can catch up with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have a think. You leave it
Okay,
with me.
yeah. Are you? You're on an IFAC diet right now, aren't you?
No,
Let me get you some food.
just got a headache, so I took one of the paracetamol that's in here. You know. So
Okay. You know, you could come to Harmony, and then I can feed you and repair your car.
yeah, I'll see what I can
you know,
do.
I mean, you could come see me more often. You know,
how's
that
how's
would
the
be nice.
mayorship?
It's actually really lovely. Like, it's a lot of meetings and a lot of phone calls, but I kind of love it. For once, I actually feel important, relevant.
I know what you mean.
Like,
I've had the
like my
same thing happen to
opinion
me.
matters. You know?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bring you down. Like for me, it's definitely a
No,
double-edged
it's okay.
sword because it was like I don't think I was overlooked. I just feel like since getting the position, oftentimes it feels like it's the position talking and not me, and people are listening to the assistant chief and not Richard Dark. You know what I mean? It's like the only reason
Yes.
people are actually listening is because I've been given this position, which I'm very grateful for. But
Yes.
there is that sense of, you know, am I an imposter? Right? Do I actually deserve to be here? And all these
Imposter
people that
syndrome. Yep.
exactly, yeah.
I've
just-
been saying that same thing.
I mean, we're 3 months down the line, and it hasn't gone away. So, you know, the sooner you can get over there, the better. I'll be honest.
But I think that's part of why you're perfect for the job, because you're not going to take it for granted. You understand the privilege of it and the honor of it, and you take that seriously and you treasure that. And I think that's kind of, you know, what makes it good for me as well. You know, it's like it's not something that we're going to take for granted,
Yeah.
because we're in these positions because people saw the good in us and the good that we want to do. And we're not in it for ourselves. We're in it for literally everybody else.
Yeah, you're not wrong. How's Sexton been?
You know, he's been really good. We've had a lot of conversations. I, you know, like I told you, I got Bass's, you know, permission to attend all the PD meetings. So I go to as many as possible. So I'm routinely checking in with Sexton, giving him an update. We're currently working on raising the fine on possession of government weapon or government, for pistols, because currently it only covers class ones, I guess, or it doesn't specify. And it's currently at a $75,000 fine, but we're going to raise that because it's almost like in line with how much a Desert Eagle costs. So there's really no incentive for criminals to not rob cops for their guns.
Yeah.
So we're raising the fine on that. And then we're also creating another charge for the class twos now that you're carrying those again. Because automatic rifles on the street are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So a $75,000 fine is literally nothing in this grand scheme of things for a rifle. So we're looking at a class 2 charge of a government weapon with a fine of $250,000 to $300,000. That way it will stop them and make them think real hard before they go robbing cops for their guns. You know, it's like, I know, like I said in the text message, I know that you have your misgivings about him, but he does genuinely want to do good. And
I was about to ask, like, what's his motivation here? Why did he want to be mayor?
He wants to breathe life into the city again. You know, he wants to, you know, get people to work with one another and to, you know, have instead of businesses tear each other down, to work with one another. Yeah. we're talking about doing like a pop-up flea market type thing, because we can't really bring the markets back the way that they were in Polito. But if this way we do this this pop-up idea would be to have people bring vehicles with large storage and sell their merchandise out of the back
A
of
car
their
boot sale.
vehicles. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we would have music, and of course there would be security there, whether it be off-duty officers or there's some private security companies popping up now. I'm actually friends with one of the owners. It's called The Cut. His name is Solomon Walker. He's a very nice gentleman. He and we've pretty much hit it off since the moment we met. So like his first week in the city, and he's doing very well for himself.
Okay.
But yeah, so
That's just monkey
and
chat.
we want them to be in different areas, like all over the island, to kind of showcase the business and people in that area, so that way, people won't just gravitate to one specific place, and it'll
Yeah.
help bring businesses to, or it'll help bring foot traffic to businesses that may not otherwise have a lot of people,
That'd be cool if you could have like
Yeah.
if there was an app where you could go anywhere in the city, and let's say you went to Legion Square, right? And you went there and you open your app, you open up the back of your van and stuff, it had your advertising on the side, it had like a little stall to set up, and then you could open the app and you could like create a new flea market, and it would advertise to everybody else that there was an ongoing flea market at that location. So that anybody else who then was like, oh, someone's selling stuff today, maybe I can make some money there too. And people who also want to sell things can go to that spot and set up,
Yeah, exactly. And then we're also looking at people that may have like collectibles that they no longer want, or they might have duplicates of, and they want to sell those too. So, maybe like
we need an auction house.
yeah, or how people do yard sales,
Yeah.
things like that, with something like that. So where it's not just businesses selling merchandise, but people can sell, their old collectibles that you can no longer get anymore, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, it kind of gives, newer people the ability, for access to those, items that are no longer available. So,
That's good ideas,
he's
yeah.
got, and then the events, like he wants to sponsor a lot of events, not just funded by the mayor's office, but he wants to give businesses the money to be able to host their own events, to get people, invested and give everybody something to do. I don't know if you heard about the HOA Survivor games that happened. Oh God, so dark.
Just clap.
A clap. Okay.
You have the powers as deputy mayor now. Just clap.
Oh, is that it? Just turn the power back on.
Yeah. You gotta clap louder, Edsa. Come on.
Clap louder. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh well, there we go. It just took a little bit because it was
there
so
you
quiet.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll clap louder next time.
Okay.
But yeah, the HOA Survivor event that Andy Jones did was actually phenomenal. It lasted for 5 days, and I think it was probably the most fun that I've had in a while. And I was just watching. Yeah, although I did help a little bit in some of it. But yeah. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of people were very invested in it. It brought a lot of business to Mirror Park, so I mean, that kind of thing right there is the kind of stuff that we want to promote. And yeah, I mean, it
sounds good.
He wants to do for everybody. Like, it's not one person or another. It's not Crim or Cop or Cerberus, or whatnot. It's like, it's everybody. Nobody's being left behind, because we all are here in this city together. You are on an IFAC diet. Okay.
I'm fine.
You need food. You need food. Y'all don't have food lockers anymore?
No, we don't do that anymore.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
fine. What's his opinion on the PD?
Well, I mean, as you can see, he's already like I'm kind of like a self-appointed bridge between the PD and the mayor's office.
Okay.
Because I'm the one who has the most flexible schedule, so I can attend the most meetings. I try to go to as many as possible over all of the different time zones because I want to make sure that I'm always aware of kind of what's going on in the event that if y'all do ever need emergency funding for whatever reason, then I can go to him and go, okay, Sexton, they're asking for this much money because this is what they're dealing with currently. And that way it saves everybody time of having to sit down and explain in meeting after meeting after meeting when I can literally go, oh, yeah, I was there when they were talking about this. This is what's happening.
That's what I
You
was
know-
wanting to ask, is because obviously we have
Mhm.
Shelby who manages the budget, but
Mhm.
do you want me to go to Shelby and then Shelby go to you about money that we might need?
I mean, if that is part of the position that she's in, then yeah, I have no problems working with Shelby or Jenny. Because I'm pretty much helping Sexton with the budgets as well. So, you know,
Okay.
that's my thing. But yeah, I mean, we have no problems working with them. If they are the ones that you have in place to deal with the money, then we can keep doing that.
I don't really
But-
know. I'll be honest. I don't actually know the
Yeah.
process at the minute. So
I know that the way that things have been is changing. However, because Buddha basically gave them a blank check and didn't ask for any kind of receipts or explanation as to what they were doing with the money and why.
Okay. Yeah.
And that we don't want, because he's very big on transparency. There are no secrets. He is very upfront and honest about a lot of things.
That's funny.
Well, about everything, basically. And, where the money goes for PD, he just wants to know where it's going. He's not going to restrict anybody's money or say no. He just wants to know where it's going.
Okay.
So,
That's good to know.
yeah. And yes, we are working with Aegis in regards to storefronts. I know a lot of people consider them like the boogeyman because nobody really understands what it is that they do. But after our meeting, from what we were told, basically all they're doing is regulating the storefronts. So they go and people who may have left the city or have been deported, they take down or remove their storefronts to give people who are still here the option to pick those up. People who might be misusing their storefronts, like some literally got a storefront just so they'd have another place to wake up.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. They throw a cot in the back room and call it good. And so, they're looking into people like that, or people that are selling items outside of the specialization that they were approved for.
My only
So-
issue with Aegis comes up with the way the legislation is written. Yes, that's all they're doing right now is storefronts, but they're pretty
Right.
open-ended in terms of
No,
what they could do.
Yeah, no, we know that. Like we read the legislation as well, and we agree. It is very open-ended, but for right now, because of, I guess, because we're new, we want to establish that rapport with them. And if they get to a point where they may be seen to overstep, then we can do something about it then and possibly amend things. But we've been working with Crane a lot. I actually hung out with him not too long ago, getting to know him, to kind of get that legislation, the legislation changes that we want get that started and whatnot. So,
Okay.
but
That sounds
yeah,
great.
like we understand that the legislation isn't ideal and that it seems very broad and vague and seems to give them a lot of unnecessary power. So we're not completely oblivious to that. But
All right.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it all sounds fantastic. I'll be honest. Obviously, I have my
Yeah.
reservations about Hardcastle Cohen.
Yeah.
But I don't particularly have any reservation. I don't have any reservation about the deputy mayors, so that's good.
Well,
I guess
thank
you got any scoops for me? Anything coming that I need to know about? I need to be ready for?
As far as like from us,
Yeah, from the mayor's office. Yeah.
not really, no. I mean, honestly, we're still just trying to get, settled in and tackling things head on. But as far as PD is concerned, really, it's if you have something that you would like to talk to us about, never hesitate to call me and let me know. Because, like I said, especially given our times, because we're most likely to see each other, that way I can relay all of that information to him. Or I can schedule to have him wake his ass up earlier so he can be here to talk to you. But yeah, like Stubble had talked to Barrick, and Barrick told me about the whole Class 2 thing. And I immediately took that to Sexton. Sexton talked with Stubble, and boom, we're already getting it done. Like, we're already working on it.
Damn.
So,
Okay.
and like, we want to prove to everybody that, they put their faith in the right people. We are doing exactly what we said we would do. So, and that's why, if something else comes up, oh, that reminds me. In the PD meeting the other night, they were talking about the public intoxication charge and how
Right.
it doesn't really have a time. Do you feel like there should be a time, or should it be left to officer discretion?
I haven't used. It's very rare that I use the charge, and it's mostly for when I'm investigating and somebody is smoking, like
Yeah.
weed or something in public. I normally use that
Mhm.
as. It doesn't have a time.
Because it was either Alicia or Scully. I can't. They were both discussing it, and I can't remember which one actually. I think it might have been Alicia that was dealing with it, but she had a guy who was incredibly drunk, but she couldn't actually do anything with him, and had to kind of just let him go.
I think that, in my opinion, that should come down to the mayor, because at the end of the day, the mayor's office is essentially defining what the city's going to look like. That is the job of, that branch of government, stuff like that. So if you feel like you want less people on the streets who are intoxicated in some capacity, then if you change that to have a charge, then I'm not gonna question it. I think that's a good idea.
But given that you're the ones who are dealing with those intoxicated people, if you do feel like you have to arrest somebody for public intoxication, what do you think is a reasonable amount of time, in your opinion?
They normally come in. The minimum's normally like 5 months. I mean, disorderly conduct, for example, is a charge that could be pushed on someone who is publicly intoxicated in the streets. That's 5 months, for example, but it has a more of a fine to it. It's like $425, right? But I think if you kept the fine the same, which is $175 on public intoxication, bump the time to 5 months. The issue is, as well, Etta, as I'm sure you're aware, you get someone in custody, you pop them in the car, you drive them down a mission road, you put them in the cells, you get them ready to go to prison. By the time they get there, they're going to be walking anyway.
Right. That's true. Okay.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's very typical in other states to take a guy down and lock up who's pissed out of his head and keep him in the, the drunk box, or whatever the fuck it's called, for, a few hours until he sobers up, and then they walk out.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's at least something that gets them down to the cells, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Okay. So I didn't know if maybe adding a time would help you all, or if it should just be left to officer discretion, because I guess I don't like that it's open-ended like that, because unfortunately, as much as I love and trust the majority of the officers in this city, there are those who would abuse that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think that there is definitely a can of worms that could be opened because it goes from being a ticket, like jaywalking, to being an arrestable misdemeanor. And obviously that can escalate a lot of things because, like I said, I used to use this for like investigating, going to talk to people and stuff like that.
right.
But once there's a time, that's a misdemeanor that I can arrest someone for. So like you're saying about people abusing it for, I'm not saying people are going to abuse it. This is also going the fact that criminals don't like being in handcuffs or being arrested, but they'll take a ticket sometimes. But as soon as there's a time on there, I can put that person in handcuffs. I can arrest them. I can search them. I can see what's, what they're hiding in their pockets and stuff like that, and they're not going to like that. So it's going to change the city from I can smoke weed in a public place to I can't smoke weed in a public place because the police are going to search me and find my illegal gun and drugs and whatever like that.
Yeah, that's
It's a big change, right?
Yeah, that is a very big change. Okay.
So I think if this is something you want me to throw towards PD, I can try and get some feedback on that, but it's up to you if you want to. Like, is this coming from Sex or is this coming from? Oh no, you said it was coming from Sully, right?
Yeah. Scully and Leisha were talking about it, and I was just wanting to get your thoughts on whether or not you feel that there should be a time. So, and now that you've put it like that, I see where the issue could be. So it probably wouldn't be a good idea to have a time on that.
Probably not a good idea in terms of like how much is it going to clean the city,
they actually
up?
Like clarify the definition of intoxication. But then you have disorderly conduct. So if somebody's being, drunk and stumbling and they're walking in the street or they're interrupting somebody's business, that's more disorderly conduct.
You know what I'd rather be changed instead? Maybe keep public intoxication the same. DUI. Driving... I can't even remember. I remember trying to... Driving while intoxicated is 5 months in prison and $475. That's it. Whereas you can steal a car and get 14 months and $1,500. Yes, driving DUI or DWI gives you 20 points on your license. Right, that's great. But I mean, I don't know. It's something to be discussed because if you're intoxicated, you can kill somebody, right? I think I guess my question would be, how is reckless driving 12 months and 1,125, but DUI is only 5 months? I don't know. Something to think about.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from on that.
I think if we're trying to limit the level of people being intoxicated in public places and just keeping the city a safer place from drugs, maybe DWI is the place to do it because people will be less inclined then to smoke a joint and then get in the car or, drink some alcohol and get in a car. They might just stick to drinking and doing drugs at home, somewhere safe with friends instead of out in public on the streets.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get you. Okay.
What there could be a lot of things I could bring to you, but we have both a high command and a command meeting tonight, so I'm not gonna bring anything forward before I assume we're gonna discuss tonight. Like, I think one thing I'm gonna bring up is like gang related shootings, for example. Big issue in the city right now. Obviously, it's just all the time. It seems like. Same with, just to be transparent, I think the discussion is going to about the kind of north of Olympic, south of Olympic kind of policing that currently happens when it comes to gang-related shootings. I think that my personal opinion is that's very dated.
Okay.
You got to think how many, like, you say most of the gang fights are happening north of Olympic. Probably 75%, 80% are happening north of Olympic. So that policy, in my opinion, has got to change. But I think the charge could use a bit of tweaking too, because I mean, you might know if someone goes in for 75 months, how long, you know, if they're on good behavior, washing dishes and everything, how long are they actually going to last in prison?
Right.
That charge was set, you know, 2-3 years ago, when it was more difficult to get your time reduced in prison, and you didn't get any time off when you came down to Mission Row because of how long you've been in handcuffs. So right now, from what I've heard, the way it was introduced was to give the gang some time to cool off in prison, maybe consider whether they actually want to be shooting each other. That's not working anymore.
Right.
So obviously we're going to discuss it from a PD standpoint, but I'll probably bring that to you, or someone will bring that hopefully to the mayor's office, because I think that
Right,
needs a
okay.
discussion.
Yeah, most certainly. I
Oh,
know
and it's also-
Sexton would probably love to talk to you too. At some point, he wants to talk to everybody at some point, but
Yeah. Listen, if I'm honest,
Mhm.
my only request, the only thing I don't see it as abnormal, but I personally, you know, I'm not a fan, is it felt like Bass, maybe I'm wrong, it felt like Bass was the only person in the end who was talking with the mayor most of the time. I don't know whether that's true or not. Maybe that's just my skewed perspective. I just don't want that to necessarily be the case this time around. And it doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean that I need to talk to Sexton or we need to talk to Sexton. It just means that, you know, we can talk to anybody in the mayor's office, and it's going to be the same kind of conversation as if we had with the mayor. It's, you know, treated the same way, equally as important. Not I have to talk to you and then I have to have the same conversation with Sexton.
No. No. That's yeah, no. We, like I said, I can be that person that can relay that information to him. And then if for whatever reason he wants to discuss it further or get clarification on things, then, you know, he could reach out to you. But I do know that he doesn't want it to just be one-on-one with him and Bass. He
Okay,
wants
that's
to
good.
he wants to be available to everybody. Because like I said, he's already reached out to Stubble, you know, so
It sounds
Sorry.
like she's in a greenhouse.
so it's he wants to be able to reach out to everybody, and he wants to be available to everybody. And like I said, all I have to do is just give him a date and a time, and he'll wake up early to meet with you
Okay.
if you would like to talk to him about things, you know. But any conversation that we have, we can have, you know, like we're doing now. We can do these whenever, and then I can go and I can, you know, talk to him and relay your concerns or your questions or things that you might like to see.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I won't bring up anything yet. I'll just wait for this meeting. So I'll chat to you tomorrow, probably if you're around.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited. I think we can do some pretty good things here.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah.
Because I have no problems with, you know, going to him, and of course, you know, given, you know, that the people closest to me are all cops, of course I'm going to fight for all of you. So
I
but
appreciate that.
he doesn't want to leave anybody behind either. So, you know,
Okay.
it's not just me arguing with him.
Okay, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I look forward to
think
it.
about that. And then if anybody else pops up, and for what it's worth, there's really only one person that I'm absolutely forbidding from attending. And it's Brian Knight.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
Nova. Nova's one. I'd like Nova there. And Stubble, actually. I like Stubble there too.
okay, I have invited Connor. And then yeah, I'll reach out to Leah and Alexandra and invite them.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you, Etcha. I think I'm gonna have a meeting with Madison, but if you need anything, just
Okay.
give me a call. I'll be around all day. All right.
All right. Make sure she has some food. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna go get you food and I'm bring it back.
No, don't be silly. I've got minions for
Yes.
that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've got minions for that. Thank you, Etcha. And feel better, okay? I'm gonna find out who did this. I'm gonna follow up.
By the way,
Yeah.
I have a phone number.
A phone number for.
Oh, I didn't tell you what happened. Okay, so what happened is I had to kick somebody off the lot. Actually, give me just a second.
Is it a puppy? It does sound like a puppy on like laminate floor, just running around in circles.
Okay, sorry. I had to kick somebody off of the lot at Harmony yesterday because he was going around bothering my customers and asking them where the best places were to rob gold panners. And so when they came over and they told me, I went over to him and I was like, no, you're not going to do that here. I was like, you need to go ahead and leave. And he just kind of laughed at me and stood there. And I was like, okay, my name is Etta. I'm the manager here. And I'm telling you that you need to leave the lot. And he proceeded to try and go to Jordan Elmore and the other guys that were there, ignoring me completely. And I asked him multiple times, nicely, you need to leave the lot. Get off the lot. Get off the lot. Then it escalated to me going, get the fuck off my lot. I didn't stutter. There's literally nobody here higher than me. So you need to leave. I'm going to call the police and have you arrested and trespassed if you don't leave. I had to get to the point where I was literally screaming at him because he wouldn't respond to me any other way. And so he finally leaves. But then he goes next door, he changes clothes, he comes back, walks straight into the shop and just stands there. Doesn't say anything to me. So I approach him and I'm like, can I help you? It's the same guy. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I'm not stupid. Second of all, I told you to leave. So leave. And this time, don't come back or I'll call the police and have you arrested. And he was like making comments, God, why are you overreacting? You're such a bitch. But no, this and this. I was like, that's fine, but you still need to leave. And he was like, look, can't we talk? And I was like, okay, what's your name? And he gave me a fake name. And I was like, okay, where's your ID? He's like, I don't carry it on me. I was like, okay, so you're lying. I was like, get off my lot. And so he's by this time Lewis Collins had shown up and he was standing there with me and the guy just stood there and he's like, mate, the lady said leave the lot, and kind of like walked him off the lot. Now at that time Luka Kozlov pulled in for a repair. And so he comes out and I'm like, Luca, I was like, can you go talk to that guy over there with Lewis? Because I just had to kick him off the lot. He's being really reluctant. He keeps coming back. I was like, and I'm afraid that he's going to come back and try something. And Luca pretty much said, I can't be bothered. So the guy was talking to Lewis or whatever, briefly while Luca was standing with me. And then he took off on a Sanchez and Luca got his repair and he left. Like I explained to him what happened and he's like, oh, he's just some dumbass, don't worry about it. And I'm just like, okay, thanks for that. Yeah, it's great. And so he left. I get a phone call and it's the guy. And he's like, why are you kicking me off the lot? What's your problem? And so I explained to him again. I was like, you literally laughed in my face and disrespected me by ignoring me and then trying to go around me when I asked you to leave calmly. And I said, you escalated that. And he's like, I was respectful. And I was like, well, I'm sorry that your definition is skewed. And he was like, I'm sorry. I was like, okay, if you're sorry, what's your name? And he gave me another fake name. And I'm like, okay, well, then I'm not going to bother with you then. And I hung up. And then he called me back and he goes, look, I'm sorry. And I was like, you can be sorry all you want. I was like, it's not going to change the fact that I don't want you to come back to the shop. He goes, no, I'm sorry. You're a fucking bitch. And then he shot me hiding in a bush across the street.
What was the number?
415
Mhm.
224 6219.
Music.
And I have given that number out to literally everybody that I know. Barrick
Anybody
and
have it?
Juno. No. Barrick and Juno responded. Juno collected the evidence. There is a report.
Yeah, I got it.
And of course, my friends, like, well, my best friend Steven reached out, called the guy, basically called him a pussy for shooting an unarmed woman from a bush from afar. And was like, and now he's like, yeah, I smoked that deputy mayor bitch's pack. And Steven was just like, you are a fucking idiot. So, and he's like, well, my beef with her is squashed. And he goes, okay, but my beef with you ain't squashed. So, he got the name Billy from him.
Billy.
And so we thought it might have been Billy James, because he claimed to be Billy with the ballas, but I'm not familiar with any ballas. And I was given the name Billy James like later on in the evening, but I gave the name to Barrick, and Barrick said that the name didn't match the number. So I don't know if maybe it was a burner phone or
I mean,
what.
it looks in the report. It's mentioned about mayhem. You said there was someone in the mayhem cut there.
So the people that were in the lot talking that he was going up to asking the questions about the gold panners were members of Mayhem. And at first I thought they were all together. But then later, like, they came back to me and was like, because I get along with a lot of the Mayhem. And like Johnny Adams and Kevin Pitts, they're both
Mhm.
mechanics at the shop, and they both like
Sounds
we're
pretty
all really
nice.
good friends. And Johnny always makes sure that the Mayhem don't act up at the shop. And so they called me and they were like, Etta, I just want you to know that we didn't have anything to do with him, and they explained their part, because basically what they were doing was he was wanting to steal the guy's bike to like blow it up or, disable it so he couldn't go and rob gold panners, because it's a fucking cringe thing to do. And they just apologized. And, I was like, okay, well, I was like, I'm sorry that I screamed at you and kicked you off the lot. So you're fine to come back if you want to, so we're good on that end. So the Mayhem was not involved at all. They had no idea who that guy was. And unfortunately, he was covered from head to toe both times. So like, I don't even know the color of his skin because he was so covered. And I think Lewis took a picture of him at some point and gave it to Barrick.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, at some point that gun is going to be found somewhere, and we
Yeah.
can check it against casings, and we'll get them. But I'll let Barrick know that about the number. Unless have you done that?
No, yeah, he already knows. Yeah.
Okay, I've
he
added
got
to the
phone
report.
number, and he had 311 at the time for everybody to check their phones for that number, but it was kind of busy yesterday, so
Okay.
that's why I asked people and all of my friends. I even checked it against the Fast Loans app to see if it was anybody in there, and it wasn't. So
What about if I just send $1 to their WEM now? Do you think that'll work?
See, now that's the thing. Is like we thought about that because that would be
No,
easy.
don't think
But
about that.
yeah, don't. Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, no.
Did they get a repair?
No, he showed up on a stolen Sanchez. Because one of the guys did end up kicking it and disabling it. That's why he wanted the repair kit and wouldn't leave. But you know, when
We'll
Barrick ran
find
the
him,
plate,
Esther.
it
Don't
came back as
worry.
stolen. Yeah, that's what I've asked my friends. If you do find him, let the police handle it. But I can't guarantee that.
What friends are these?
Literally, Richard, everybody, because anybody who
Okay.
hears the story immediately asks for the number. Like,
If you have asked members of Hydra or other gangs that you are friendly with, that man is dead.
well, first of all, I'm not friends with Hydra.
Are you not? Okay.
Pretty much once I broke up with Ace and I was dating a cop, they pretty much washed their hands of me. So
Okay.
yeah, they barely speak to me when they come in for repairs now. So I mean, it's whatever.
All right.
But-
We'll get it sorted, Edge. Don't worry. We'll put him
Yeah.
the death penalty and all that.
Nice.
I mean, terrorism. You know, if they technically said to was it Steven on the phone that I smoked that deputy mayor bitch, then clearly you knew who you were and it was premeditated that you were the mayor.
Yeah, because I had identified myself as the deputy mayor
There you go.
with all of it. I was like, because, it's like he kept trying to dismiss the fact that I was just some random bitch telling him to leave. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm the manager here. And not only that, I'm also deputy mayor. So leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just. So he knew who I was. Plus, I was in the app at the time as well. So, yeah. Okay, well, I won't take up any more of your time. I know you
Alright.
need to eat. Make sure that you have a minion bring you food.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Alright.
I'll catch up. Oh my god, everybody said they're paying. Okay,
Oh,
bet
shit.
this is great. I don't have to do that kind of work. All right, I'm gonna give Madison a call because I said I'd chat to her.
All right.
But
Alright.
thank you, Etcha. I appreciate you. Okay.
All right. Have a good day. Be safe.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
Hey, Dark.
Hey, man. Sorry about that. Deputy Mayor was here. I didn't want to, get rid of her
Oh,
enough.
yeah, that whole, yeah. I had a quick thing to kind of bring up to you because I don't know really what to do about it.
Sure.
Apparently Ghetto Kaiba has 2 MDW profiles, and he was processed on another MDW profile the other day. So one's with 1 team, one's with 2. Yeah.
Which is the real one?
That's the question.
Okay,
don't-
well, I think simple is we need to go and find him, get his ID, and then make sure that we update whichever one has the most charges, so whichever one's been used the most, update that to be the correct one. And then you might have to move all the charges over to the other one, if there's a lot.
Okay.
Is it, you said there's one with 2 T's? Is that the
Yeah,
new
2
one?
T's in Ghetto.
They're literally that's a different person.
Is it
Maddie?
a different person?
That's a different person.
What the fuck?
There's not. Yeah, that's not the same person.
Are you sure?
Look at their face. That's not the same person. This person looks like they're having an
look very similar.
aneurysm in their photograph. So
I
yeah,
thought they were similar.
It looks like they're asleep. They looks like this black person. Like they're not the same. That's not the same person. Okay, this person. No, I'm not gonna run the BMX because that doesn't make any sense. I need to check now. Okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'll look into it as well, and then I'll kind of get back to her unless you can kind of look into it, see what we want to do. Because if people are charging Ghetto for double T's Ghetto shit, then
Is this guy
you know,
like
that's a problem in
finessing the
itself.
system? Did he like fly in
Oh my god, Tails
That-
just jumped out of my helicopter.
Okay. All right. I'll let you deal with it. All right. Thanks for the heads up, though, Maddie.
No problem, Dark. Bye-bye.
Bye. It's definitely one. Yeah. Hello, Richard Dog speaking on Richard Dog's phone.
Hello, this is Warden Bowman.
Oh, hello, Mr. Bowman. How are you?
I'm doing good, Dark. How are you?
Yes, I'm fantastic.
Perfect. I'm just reaching back out regarding those MDW staff profiles because when we looked, we couldn't find any of the cadets.
Oh,
They're,
okay. When Harvey called me, he said that it was just the reports that needed doing, but you're saying it's the staff profiles too?
Yeah, they need the staff profiles because they're not in the system.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that now. So it's just give me the names again, and I'll check it with the list.
Yeah, they're on the list. It's Amira West, Nathan Stone. He has one. He has DOC edit access, but he needs a call sign. We also need for Jack Clark.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Just those
no,
three?
and Ryan Wilson. So it's
Right.
the last four on the list.
The last four. Okay, yeah, I'll do those now. They all should have the report access. That should all be done. I'll just get their profiles sorted. Okay.
All right. Do you know who I can speak to maybe be able to edit profiles for myself for DOC? Because we have so many inactive people that I'm thinking they're gonna be there forever, and a lot of them don't even work with us anymore.
I'll be honest. For the last 4 years, only 2 people in PD could do it. It's only since 2 months ago that PD High Command have been given access. Given that you guys in DLC have your elections and
Elections.
stuff, I don't imagine they're gonna hand out the MDW config stuff like that. Unfortunately. But I'll be honest, you don't want it anyway, because it takes 10 years. It's like you're loading things on Windows 97 and your storage is full. It's just so slow. So you don't want the headache, I promise you.
Right. Do you know who I could speak to though, and just ask the question?
Bass, I guess.
Oh, it's bad. Okay.
I don't know whether it's Bass. I just can't. I know the chief wouldn't know. I don't even know who gave it to me. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming it was from Bass.
Okay. Did you get any training beforehand, or did you just get it dumped in your lap? Hey, do this.
I was given it, but then I got training from Copper. So Copper and Toretti were the 2 that had access for a few years. So those 2 are kind of like the experts, and we've kind of all picked it up to spread the load a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
All right,
but yeah,
well, if you
I'll
could,
do those now.
Yeah, look at those. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dark.
Okay. Take care.
You too. Bye.
That was Oscar Bowman. Imagine getting charged for crimes you didn't commit. Yeah, I know. Well, here's hoping that hasn't happened. I mean, let's just look for a second. Ghetto Kaiba. I actually don't know how to spell his name. Oh, God. Oh, no. This actually looks like someone's charged the wrong person. This was the situation I was in. Oh. Oh, no. Someone charged the wrong person. Look, I mean, I'm assuming here that they don't hang out, right? But this is Ghetto Kaiba's car that was used by Ghetto Kaiba in the situation, and it's the original, the OG Ghetto with 1 T, but one with 2 T's has been charged. Oh no. 14117. Yeah, you can even see the ID on the GSR test. It's the wrong person.